tell us a bit more about you and how you got into filmmaking and your practice and stuff.
So yeah, like when I was a kid, like I said, I was just making silly videos on YouTube. Yeah, I was just having fun. I was just making little short films or comedy sketches and putting them online because I saw other like teenagers doing it, and I thought it was cool. And I was always a really, really shy kid. Like I was basically mute. I never spoke. I was always really shy in social settings, like even in front of like my own family. So it's kind of strange that I then decided to make these little films for YouTube and put it out there for the world to see. And early on, it never like took off. Like nothing took off. Nothing got more beyond 10 views. But I did it for fun, and I grew up in a small town where no one else is doing this kind of thing. So I got quite a bit of attention at school, and the local newspaper would also cover this as well. And yeah, like it was just something that I just kept going with. And then when I was doing YouTube more and more. Oh, hello.
Wow.
Wow, what is this?
It's basically a cucumber salad with tahini dressing with soy sauce.
Oh.
And yeah, that's a bit of chili oil as like a, dressing. Yeah.
This is crazy.
Would you like to mix it?
Dig in, guys, dig in.
But yeah, like I started meeting through YouTube other young people who were doing similar things, like using YouTube to share their craft, like a lot of actors, a lot of musicians. And I, without really trying, just naturally became a part of this large creative community, and everyone was collaborating at the time. And I was really young. I was like 16, 17. I never really planned to make it my career, but before I knew it, I was a part of this community where, there were like musicians who wanted music videos done. There were actors who wanted to like get their scripts off the ground, and I'd help them make short films. Yeah, then one day I just started getting paid for it.
Make it sound really simple. Where did film school happen?
It was simple.
You did
relatively.
film school, right?
I did do film school because after
Was
a
it
while,
because of the thing that you were doing, or did you like go, I want to become qualified, or?
I felt like I wanted more direction in what I was learning because I was completely self-taught. I really felt like I was missing something, but at the same time, I don't think filmmaking, film school is necessary.
I was going to say, if you could talk to young you now, would you go like, oh yeah, get 35 grand in debt for that? No, for real.
I gained a lot. I gained a lot more than just
so yeah,
the syllabus.
The 35 back.
Yeah, for me it was.
Okay, cool.
I researched a lot into which film school I went into. I knew the syllabus before I started. It was covered a lot of stuff I wanted to learn, and I milked my lecturers. I was always the one who stayed for like an hour after workshops asking questions.
I'm not getting the vibe that you make uninformed decisions.
No.
I'm not getting that vibe at all.
But I was always the... Sorry, let's try this. It smells wonderful. The tahini's very like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's amazing. Everything kind of balances out really well.
Lovely.
That's really nice. Wow. Yeah, like I was also working before I went to university. So I've been on shoots prior to going to uni. I already had like some questions or problems in my head. So when I was then put in a room with experienced filmmakers, I had questions to ask where like someone who's never tried anything, which is most students, they didn't have those questions to ask.
Yes.
I felt the pressure of like, I need to make it in the industry soon because I'll be in the real thing in a couple of years. So I was like asking questions for survival.
Right.
I was trying to get the most out of that education. And also like I went to UCA, which is in Surrey. And it's a small countryside town where, you geographically will live so close to all the other students, and there's nothing else to do. There's no nightclubs. There's a few pubs, and that's it. It's a small town with an art school in the middle of it. So we would always collaborate with like other people from other courses. That was a really nice environment to learn in. Not everyone liked it, but I always said, like, you know, you have plenty of time to research the course before starting it. You know,
I like that.
For me, it was exactly what I wanted and more.
Right.
And it sounds really cheesy, but for me, the best thing about film school was the people I met. A lot of the people I collaborate with regularly were people I met back then. I don't know if this is too off topic, but I heard something recently that was quite nice. There was something I saw on Instagram where someone said, like, what's one thing that they wish they knew earlier on in their creative career? And they said to stop prioritizing networking, to stop desiring to expand their network, and instead focus on the people around them who they believe in, and really focus on that and help each other grow.
Yeah.
That's real.
You know, instead of just like, you know, thinking like, I need a network more, I need to get my name out there, let's give out business cards everywhere. You know, the people who are around you who you believe in, who might not be super, like, you know, established in their career, work with them, collaborate with them, and grow together. And I feel like that's the experience that I had with a lot of the people I went to university with.
I think I had a really similar journey as yours. I took a 7-year gap year.
7 years?
Yeah, 7 years.
Wow.
Well, but
Luxurious. Shit.
Well, I finished my unit back in 2016, and then I got into my master's degree the year before last year. So like 7-year gap. I also had a lot of questions that came up along my journey when I was doing the practical things. So I have so many things that was pretty clear to me, and also something that is quite like uncertain for me. So I need to get the answer from people, you know, like professors or colleagues or, you know, people I met in the course. I think taking a gap year would help so much compared to jumping into a master's degree or unit right away.
Yeah. No, I think it's very interesting because I think, especially in film, you get a lot of people who do it in this country because, one, it's really easy to get into.
Oh, really?
Yes. This is not like America where most film schools are hard to get into. Most film courses here are quite easy to get into. Like they rarely ever turn people away.
Yeah.
You could, for the most part, get a BA in film by doing the bare minimum effort. And for a lot of people, it's just, you know, they want a BA, they want a degree. Like in my course, there was over 100 students in my year. About 20 of us work in the industry, and for a lot of people, they didn't even try. Like after uni ended, they were just there to like get drunk and have that British uni experience, and then you could do the bare minimum and get quite a good grade. This is not like an academic course. It's quite easy. But for me, I didn't do it for a piece of paper. Like anyone else in film, like we rarely get asked for our CV. It's always portfolio first, you know. It's
Yeah, man. I got that on both sides. You're absolutely. I can't stress that enough. I struggle now, like, to be like, should you go to? That's never what I'm looking for when I'm hiring younger people. That I'm not looking at their education. It's one thing I'm not looking at. I look at their portfolio and then how they come over when we're chatting.
I think way too many, and I think this mindset might come from just, you know, growing up in an academic setting, and then when they go to film school, art school, whatever, it still carries on. But I think too many people go into it thinking this piece of paper is suddenly going to be a passport, when it's not actually essential.
Yeah, it's not
essential.
No, it's not.
Whereas the course itself, a good creative course, should at the very least get you somewhat of a portfolio by the end of it.
Trust me, yeah.
But if you just did the bare minimal to get by, it is relatively, I can speak for film, and get a decent grade. But if your portfolio is shit still, it's, you know,
Yeah, honestly,
that's a lot of money down the hole.
No, I think the grade and the uni are the least important things to me. If you don't have a portfolio, but you come across well, you will get the job with me over somebody who didn't come across quite so well, doesn't seem to have the same ethics, let's say. And it's not because, well, I didn't go, so I don't care about it. It really isn't that. I mean, I suppose if I was in a different sector, like science.
I
was a doctor.
It's quite necessary.
Yeah, I think it's quite necessary. Or teaching, education.
Yeah.
I think I'd want you
required.
to have gone to uni, but because I don't want to feed into the stereotype that the arts are for fun and they're not something that, you know, requires qualified people to do, and that you don't need to be qualified and credible in order to do art. I don't want to buy into that.
Yeah.
I think one of the things I've been saying a lot recently is that art is as objective, for the very most part, particularly the applied art. So if we're talking about commercials and posters and shit like that, right? Pop tunes and stuff, yeah? Like, it's as objective as engineering.
Okay.
So there's 9 times out of 10, there are objective reasons why it's wrong and right. Yeah? And you can go down something that's been done badly and say objectively within the sphere of what we do why that was bad.
Right.
And then correct those on paper. And then a few geniuses can bend the rules, and that's the 1 out of 10. Yeah, but 9 times out of 10, you can say composition was bad, the layout was bad, the lighting was bad, the rhythm. You can say why it was shit.
I'm actually really curious about, is it difficult to be a filmmaker in London?
I think
Depends.
it's quite difficult, I think.
Yeah.
Go on.
Kind of, in what ways?
I think it depends, like, is it like real film industry or it's just film production? It's easy if you're doing film production, or like video production, sorry. But it's more difficult if you really want to get into the film industry, because it's based on your reputation and the connection.
Okay.
Yeah. And for example, if you don't have that much set experience, because usually people find other crew members based on like what they know before, the people who work with them before. So it's more like, you know, the network they already have. So yeah, so that I think that's why people really get like more and more difficult to get into this industry, because if you can't go into at the beginning, then you have to make a lot of effort, like gradually get into that. Yeah. I don't know what you guys think.
That's interesting. It's definitely difficult. Like, objectively, it's hard. Just to survive. Like, no one gets into this industry for money. If you are getting into film for the money,
Yeah.
it's like, don't expect
You're down.
Yeah. Basically. It's an interesting question, because I'd say it depends, purely because baseline here, it's difficult. But arguably, London is one of the easiest countries to make it a career, where it's actually possible. Because anywhere else in the UK, absolutely, yeah, you're going to struggle a lot more.
Yeah.
Other parts of Europe, London is the place where people from all over Europe come to work in the film industry. This is the European equivalent of Hollywood. You know, a lot of Hollywood is also shot here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's super saturated. There's a lot of competition. It is very much about who you know and the connections you have. Yeah, it is difficult, but it's also, in the grand scheme of things globally, it's relatively easy.
Yeah.
I believe if you think positively, it still has a lot of opportunities going on. But it's just, if you're not in that kind of community, it'll be really hard to find those kind of opportunities.
But as we established earlier, you don't have to be good. There are plenty of people who are thriving and doing well, and they're like
Mid.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I know
Maybe
what
not
you
even
mean. I
mid.
do know what you mean. I do know.
Yeah, it really is who you know.
Yeah.
I feel like even if you really become a filmmaker, it's also hard for you to survive, like living a stable life here. Because freelancing is quite hard.
Yeah.
It won't be like a stable job for you, like stable stay for you.
Yeah.
I know a lot of freelancer filmmaker. I know they also have another job. So a lot of filmmakers, they have like double life. Yeah.
Hannah
So
Montana.
for example, maybe we have a meeting in the evening, but during the daytime they have another day job.
Yeah.
Yeah, most likely. That.
Yeah. It's like for me, when I graduated, the day I graduated, I moved to London. I already had like quite a bit of freelance contacts. I knew I could hustle and make things work. But it was like from the get-go, I graduated and then immediately I was like, okay, got to focus on paying rent, got to find work. But I just stayed freelance. And yeah, that's been 7 years for me. Even when things are good, like I have good months, but there's still like every year, there's a significant level of grind and hustle and, you know, putting myself out there, getting my voice out there, pitching to new people all the time. And now I'm at a point in my life where I'm thinking about settling down, I'm thinking about marriage. So yeah, like now it is, like now I am really starting to question, like, you know, I've got over 10 years experience working freelance. Can I really live off this still and raise a family? Or am I going to have to take on a second job, something flexible where I can still take on work on like planning shoots in the evening? If I was the only thing that I was responsible for caring for in my life, yeah, it's fine. If it was just me and my cat, that's fine. But the idea of getting married and then having kids, I'm just thinking what future me as a dad would want.
The idea of planning for kids is just so insane to me. Right, like that you're going to put this framework around that somehow makes having kids feel responsible to you. That's a myth. Having kids is nuts. Right, there's no way to do it. Like, it's all free fall. No one knows what they're doing. Anyone who says to you that they know what they're doing and has written a book, they're lying. Right? You've had 10 kids. You still don't know what's going on. Because each kid's different. You haven't got a clue what's going on. You spend about 3-4 years getting to know this strange human in your yard. I think the best thing you can do, if you really, really care, is to show them that you should pursue your dreams come rain or shine.
Wow.
No kid respects a parent who says, I coulda, shoulda, nearly was this thing, but because of you, I'm this thing. Think what that sounds like.
That's a
in your
really
head.
good way to put it.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is they don't want to hear that story.
Yeah.
I could've, should've, maybe was nearly that thing, but I put it all to bed because you exist. And I want to show you that screwing your dreams up and wiping your ass with them is the way that you live as an adult human being. And I don't think you should tell no one that, man.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
That's amazing, actually.
I can't have my kid be like, watch me do something I don't love because I gave up on the thing that I'm actually good at.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's mad to me. That's so mad. That would be the failure.
But for you, is it difficult? Like to balance all the things,
Oh,
to
man.
juggle all those tasks?
It's hard to know. Like, because I've had like, you know, insanely corporate jobs, and then my trajectory has been every time I sacked it off and took a leap, things have gotten a bit better. Right? So things have been like, oh, I'm earning a bit more money, and it doesn't make any sense, but and these things are happening now around. I jumped out of a corporate job for a job in full-time music, and things got better.
Oh,
right?
wow.
And then I came back to corporate, which was freelancing and did it. So every time I've jumped off the edge of a cliff, it's panned out well. And then the COVID happened, and I had jumped off a cliff in order to start my little digital production and best practice agency, which is kind of how I accidentally fell into filmmaking through a kind of, I suppose, a background in correspondence and journalism. And in COVID, things started to I pivoted in COVID and things was going all right. Things were doing really well. I knew what people weren't doing very well. And said, I can do this thing that no one's really doing very well, which was, at the time, it was like public information and digital correspondence around a time when things that you would normally access in person were no longer available.